What is up, guys? Universe.com, and Witchwood is on the way. But before we go, Witchwood. No, seriously, before we get started with that, we have to do some housekeeping, and that means covering a deck on the new standard and one deck on Weekly Legends this week, which you guys have already seen by now. And we're just getting into it. So the deck that we are covering this week for the new standard, which will probably be the last deck, maybe second to last, but probably the last deck I cover for the series before we shift over into the Year of the Raven, depending on when Blizzard decides to drop, is a Legend Big Spell Mage deck. Now, I know it says freeze and freeze again. That is a tongue-in-cheek joke because this is not a freeze mage list. In fact, I talk about in the write-up why this is not a freeze mage list. Now, if you guys tuned in a couple months ago, we did cover Big Spell Mage once back then. And one thing I really like about this list in particular is it does some things that are quite different than the PAX decks. There are a lot of things that are similar, but there are a lot of things that are different. So the biggest thing, let's just get right into the list. What is the deck? What does it do? This is a Control Mage deck. It is a deck that seeks to control the board in various ways with removal and big AoE spells, and then use that to backload the deck to play to these two finishers right here. So you've got your AoE package, which is double Dragon's Fury. Reveal a spell from your deck, deal damage equal to its cost to all minions. You've got Blizzards, you've got Meteors, and you got one copy of Flame Strike. And this really is what your deck is trying to do. You want to clear, you want to clear, you want to keep clearing, which is a very good strategy against some of the more aggressive or mid-range decks running around the ladder, especially against Paladin, as we'll see in the games. Everything else around that is built to facilitate a control mage. So let's just look into it and get into the deck. So Arcane Artificer. 1 mana, 1/2 elemental. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain armor equal to its cost. One of the best cards in this deck. In fact, there are games this can win on its own. You play Artificer, you play a Blizzard, they can't kill it. Then you play a Meteor and you've gained 12 life and you're just going to keep gaining life. This card is also really strong because it demands removal from a lot of decks, especially if you're playing against like Hunter. You play Arcane Artificer, your Hunter opponent has to kill this. They may not want to, but if they don't, they're never going to catch up. Very strong card. Now, one of the things in this deck is the double Ice Block. Now, I am not a huge fan of Ice Block, as you all know, in these type of lists. However, this Ice Block inclusion does two things, which is really nice. Well, three things. The first, it gives you a way to survive damage. It gives you that extra survivability against mid-range or big control-ish builds, which is really nice to have and always good. But more importantly, it lets you play Medivh's Valet, and it lets you play Arcanologist. And as you can see by this deck, one of the things that makes Big Spell Mage so interesting is that it is a control deck that has a lot of ways to fight on the early board. You've got double Doomsayer, of course. You've got Arcanologist, Medivh's Valet, Raven's Familiar, and you're running double Tar Creeper. And all of these cards are just to muck up the board, slow your opponent down. They can't get through, and then by the time they do get through, guess what? We're playing Dragon's Fury and Blizzards and Meteors, and they're never attacking, which is exactly what you want. So this package is very important, and you need Ice Block to run it effectively, which is really nice. Then the other cards worth noting, we've got double Polymorph. This is just a must-have in the current meta. Not only is it great against Spiteful Summoner decks, but it basically means you don't lose to Rin, which is, if your opponent plays Rin and you don't have a Polymorph, you lose the game 99% of the time. In fact, if your Warlock opponent is smart, they play Rin with Dark Pact, but a lot of the times they won't do that. They'll just play her, you Polymorph her, and you're fine. This is also good against Doomguard. It's good against Void Lords. There's a lot of targets for it, which is really nice. Double Arcane Tyrant. 5 mana, 4/4, costs 0 if you cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. Just a strong card. Just allows you to play a big spell deck and throw some tempo into it, which is always really nice. One copy of Kabbalah's Tome. I talk about this in the write-up, but this is an inclusion I absolutely love because it gives you extra gas. There are a lot of games where you just simply have nothing to do. You're playing against a control deck, you're playing against a mid-range deck that really isn't playing into your AoE but not putting on a ton of pressure, and guess what? You got nothing to do. Kabbalah's Tome gives you something to do, and then the cards you get can give you more things to do, which is very, very nice. And then we've got Harrison Jones. The original deck ran Skulking Geist. This deck cannot beat Jade Druid if they ever play. If you ever play against Jade Druid, you can't beat it unless you're on Skulking Geist. For me, I see 0 Jade Druid. Harrison hits a lot of things in the current meta, hits Aluneth, hits Skull of the Minari. The list goes on, and it's very nice. And then finally, you've got Baron Geddon, who 7 mana, 7/5 at the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all characters, and he works extremely well with Frostlich Jaina, who, of course, is going to be our big win condition in this deck. I've talked about her at length because I love her. She is one of the coolest legendaries ever printed, and she is probably the most powerful finisher, aside from Blood Reaver Gul'dan, in the entire game, as we will see her in action. And we also have Dragon Caller Alana. 9 mana, 3/3, summon a 5/5 dragon for each spell you cast that costs 5 or more this game. Just a strong card, a good way to put on pressure. Honestly, not sure if Dragon Caller Alana is even better than a second Flame Strike. Most games are won with Frostlich, not with Dragon Caller, but she does have enough power that she at least is worth running for now. When we move into the new meta, I will be tweaking this deck, and she might not make the cut, but we'll get there. Either way, this is the deck. Let's go ahead and jump to the mulligans so we can play some Hearthstone. Alright guys, we're back for the mulligan guide, and basically the mulligans are pretty simple. You want all of these juicy early minions, and then you want to go up from there. There are so many cards you're never going to keep in this deck, right? There's so many cards. All of these like top-end cards are just too slow. They don't do enough. You never want Arcane Artificer. This is a late-game card, even though it costs 1 mana. Arcanologist, Doomsayer, Arcanologist, Doomsayer, Raven Familiar, and Tar Creeper are your must-keeps. Those are the cards you want every single game. Medivh's Valet is also very good against aggro if you have kind of a weak hand. Just being able to play a 2/3 on turn 2 is pretty nice. And he's also good if you have that early Secret or Arcanologist to go along with him, which works wonders. Polymorph is a card that I like to keep on curve, and I will always keep this against Warlock no matter what. I don't care. This card is being kept against Warlock. And then pretty much you're not keeping anything else in this deck. The only exceptions is Dragon's Fury is very good against an aggro or mid-range deck if you have a good opening curve. I wouldn't keep this on like its own against Paladin because these cards are going to do more for you than this card will on turn 5, but it is a very good card to have on curve in those matchups. And Harrison Jones can also be kept if you have a good opening against anything that might have a problematic weapon. That includes Warlock. So those are the only 2 cards that are really different. In terms of the mulligan, everything else, you're looking for this, and you're moving up your curve. So that's the deck. Let's go to the ladder. All right, guys, we are perennially at rank 5 this month and the last month. I really wanted to do a legend climb. I just have not had time to do it. So I will be hitting legend when Witchwood comes out, although I don't know what deck I'll be playing yet. We haven't seen enough cards for me to make that decision, but as you know, I will be doing my breakdowns as usual. Of the Witchwood and the different cards. I'll be doing a brewing article, and I'll be doing probably just a breakdown of the best cards. Unfortunately, we're starting off against Mage, which is really bad, but we do have Arcanologist and Valet and the coin, which if this is Secret Mage, the coin is very good. So, okay, we also have Frostlich Jaina, which is a win condition here. Okay, so he did nothing. He could also be Big Spell Mage. We're going to find out, I guess, this turn. He plays Arcanologist. That doesn't really tell us anything. Okay, so he's probably Big Spell. We're just going to lead with Arcanologist here. I want to thin our deck a little bit. This gives us a good curve. We hit Ice Block. Oh, no, he is Secret Mage. Okay, cool. So we can, we have options here. If we Tar Creeper, so we're going to play the coin first, no matter what. I don't think he would have played a counterspell into a coin, but you never know. And then, yeah, so we're going to do this first. Okay, he didn't. So we're going to ping this. And then play Doomsayer here. Oh, wow, that's not even a explosive runes. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, well, that's really good for us. Cool. So now we get to play, we have options here. We know that's not a counterspell, so we could sneak in an Ice Block here if we wanted to. Although I don't think that's a good use of mana. I think we'd rather get Tar Creeper down on the board. Double Raven isn't bad either. Is Double Raven better than Tar Creeper? Yeah, probably. It's more bodies. It's really Firelands Portal. Really, that's what you had to hit. Stupid bird. Yep. Okay. Well, that's really bad. That was particularly atrocious. So we have to figure out. If he plays another secret here, we need to figure out how we're going to fight back against the secrets. And you are obviously getting squelched. So he's playing Glyph. These can kill most of his things on the board. I just worry about Counterspell. Like, Counterspell is always a concern. I almost want to save the Ice Block. I'm not going to because it's much better to get the Ice Block plus Medea's Valet down. And if he plays a Counterspell here, like, whatever. We can also ping that. So, we also have options here. Ooh, Arcane Artificer, that's a good card. So we play Tar Creeper, it dies. We play this, it gets counterspelled. We could lead with Artificer if we wanted to. Although Artificer is a win condition, we haven't taken that much damage yet. One of these is really good this turn, I just don't know which one it is. Like, if this is Counterspell, which it could be, like playing Tar Creeper is better. Arcane Artificer hedges our bets, but it doesn't actually do anything, which is inherently the problem with that play. Like, I want to get Ice Block down so we can stick a Valet, but once again, like, I don't know if that's worth it. It might be better to start with Artificer. If it gets blown up, then we play Valet and ping this and then clear the board. I think that's the best play. Okay, that didn't die, so we're playing a Tar Creeper. Okay, so that's Counterspell, which I think we're fine with. So it doesn't look like it, but we're in pretty dangerous territory here. We have the board, but the Artificer is definitely going to die, which means that, okay, so he has Explosive Runes and Counterspell. Okay, so we have to use this turn so we can set up the next turn. That's going to get counterspelled. We play this, and we ping the worm. That sets up our Flame Strike next turn. Still in a little bit of trouble. We can't stick a minion, which sucks. We had to burn that, which I'm not a fan of. Although we do have, the Flame Strike is really nice. Ugh, another counterspell. Okay, well, if that's the second counterspell, we've gotten both of them out of the way, which is really good. He's just Frostbolt my face here. Or Medea's Valet my face. Frostbolt my face. So, we have 2 turns to not die, which is tougher than it sounds. This is when you cast a spell. So we do this. It gets countered. No. We do this. Take 3 damage. And then we play Arcane Tyrant. Oh, Mirror Entity. Weird. Oh, created by Primordial. I didn't realize he created it. I should have seen that coming. We still take 3 damage, and then we have a 4/4. So that is Ice Block. So, nah. Alright, well, if he doesn't have a counterspell here, we do have a really strong Flame Strike. And then we have Jaina, which should be enough to close this one out. I mean, we'll see. But if we stick Jaina here, like, I don't really know how my opponent wins. He has to kill the Elemental. And then we also have Baron Geddon into Jaina, which is just a billion health. Oh, that's really good. That gives us more Elementals. So he has Fireball in hand, let's assume. He has to use it on this. Right, he has to Fireball the Elemental if he has one, which means the Elemental gains a 6 life. We also have Polymorph into that, although Baron Geddon is probably the best play. Like, Baron Geddon is just so much health. Oh, Frostbolt. Sick. It wasn't even a fireball, so, smart. My opponent is good at this game, but unfortunately for him, we have Baron Geddon. And this interaction with Baron Geddon is so nice. It's just really absurd. Like, the fact that he's an elemental is just really amazing. And this game is over. Like, there's no way my opponent can win from this point. Frostlich Jaina is just one of the best. I know I say this every single time we play with her on the series, or any of my series, but, like, she is, like, single-handedly the best finisher, I guess, besides Blood Reaver Gul'dan. And I would say, like, she's arguably as strong as Blood Reaver in terms of a finisher. So we are 1-0. I will see you guys for game number 2. All right, guys. Game number 2. Yeah, Frostlich Jaina is very, very good. I expect this deck to kind of flourish moving forward. I think this is definitely a build that going into rotation doesn't lose a lot of pieces, which is really nice. Senor Uther. I knew this was coming. The Archaeologist, always great. We want to keep this, and we want the Raven. We're going to get rid of both of these. If the Raven hits on like a Dragon's Fury or really anything, we're going to be in such good shape. Although we're going to lead with Archaeologist before the Raven because the 2-3 body is always better than a 2-2 body, especially going up against Paladin. Turn 3 is going to be a secret. Turn 4 is going to be Valet and Ping. Hopefully turn 5 or 6 is how we win. And this is one of the things that I really like about the Control Mage is we are playing a control deck with a bunch of big finishers and AoE, but look at our hand. It's all like early game minions. Really unfortunate ice block draw there, but whatever. But yeah, we have like a bunch of early game minions and ways to fight on the board, which really amps up how strong this deck is in a very cool way. Direwolf, so he's going to double trade here. Okay, well, that was wrong. There's no reason he should have gone face there. And we have Dragon's Fury. So we could ping down one of the 1/1s, but there's no real reason to. Oh, yeah, we got a polymorph. Awesome. So in that case, he would have a Direwolf right now against a 2-2 Raven. Let's say he has a Rallying Blade. Or he could have protected his Direwolf. Do we see the differences in what just happened? If my opponent had traded in these into the 2-3, he'd have a Direwolf behind this and here, which is so much stronger than what I have set up. But we're going to play an Ice Block regardless. Take off the Divine Shield, as always. He's going to have one turn where he gets to, like, you know, kind of go off, in quotes, which is the Call to Arms turn. No Knife Juggler, which is always good for us. If he goes face with everything here, he's in a really bad position. He shouldn't have done that. He should have tried to preserve his Divine Shields because he has to know that I have AoE coming. Now I get to pop both of his Divine Shields, making my Dragon's Fury online. Whereas if you'll notice, if he didn't do that, if he had traded in the other way, he could have kept his Divine Shields around, which, like, my Raven couldn't trade into that, kept his Divine Shields around, and now he isn't just vulnerable to Dragon's Fury, and he's also playing further into Dragon's Fury. He probably has Divine Favor in hand, but that doesn't really matter. We have an Ice Block up, we also have Frostlich Jaina, and we have Arcane Tyrant. Arcane Tyrant is one of the cards that really makes decks like this tick. It just is. Also, that dumps an extra card out of our hand for Divine Favor, which is great. Obviously, the whole board is gone. If he had like a 1/1 around, that matters, right? When you're playing Paladin, like, you need to save your minions. You need to save your Divine Shield cards. Like, it matters. And him not doing that, also him not protecting with the Direwolf, like, just so many mistakes. That's probably worth polymorphing. There's no reason to Blizzard here, I don't think. Like, we could Blizzard, and then he gets 3 1/1s back. This is a really tough call. Like, we polymorph this, we ping it. I guess if we do it the other way, though, he doesn't have a board, and we have another Flame Strike coming. But this really cripples his late game hand potential. It's probably better to polymorph that. And once again, we're popping off the Divine Shields here. Always staying ahead of the Divine Shields. And now we have a really nice curve. We have Blizzard into Flame Strike into Jaina. And we have Ice Block up, so we're not that worried about dying. I don't even know if my opponent could kill me this turn. Steward of Darkshire, that's a good card. So how do we reconcile with this? We have to Flame Strike this turn because this needs to die. We can't leave this up for more than a turn. It ruins our Blizzard, and it really hurts our late game potential, so we have to make sure this dies. Like, almost to the point where I almost wanted to polymorph that, but I think clearing the whole board there with Jaina coming up is really worth it. Like, that's probably the best play. Looks like he's going to tear him, maybe? Oh, Crystal Lion. Okay, so we ping off the Divine Shield from Crystal Lion. No, we don't. We play Arcane Artificer. Like, we could have polymorphed this. Also, why haven't I squelched him yet? But once we get Jaina down, once we have Jaina, we have Jaina. You know what I mean? Like, Jaina is Jaina is Jaina. And she is just so unbelievably good. So he takes the 1 damage. We are now going to go up to infinite life, and it's time to bow to your queen. You know what I'm saying? We're at 22 life. We got a Frost Elemental. And we don't have any AoE, but we do have the Kabbalist Tome, and we have the Frost Elemental. Or water. I say Frost Elemental. It's a Water Elemental. He might level up here, just as a way to... Oh, tear him. Same thing. So that's not good for my opponent at all. He thinks it's good for him, but it's not. We're going to polymorph this thing. Ooh, Dragon's Fury. That's a good card, too. I kind of want to not do that. Kind of just want a Dragon's Fury here. Perfect. That's what I was hoping I'd hit. Like, even if we didn't hit the 6, we still just leave Tarim alive. Like, the game's over. We played Frostlich Jaina. Like, you just can't come back from this. It's too... I don't even know why my opponent's still playing this game. She's just too much power in one card. Like, it's unbelievable how good she is. We could Tome here, I guess. Another Tome. Kill this. Just make more elementals. Like, we can't die. Like, this is absurd. I'm sorry. She's just such a good card. You can't keep up with her. It's impossible. Even if he has a quality consecration, like, what's he hope to do here? You're going to level up? Like, I don't care. And if he doesn't level up, we just blow him out with... Oh no, he leveled up. That's pretty scary. Oh wait, I can still just keep making elementals. Gonna do this. Gonna make another elemental. I'm at infinite life. Let's Kabbalist Tome again. I'm sorry you guys have to see this. I don't know why he didn't concede as soon as I played Jaina. Like, he can Divine Favor even. Like, what's he supposed to do? Like, he plays Divine Favor, he draws a million cards. Why? This just makes me more elementals. Why are we still playing this game? Like, normally I don't care, but it's like, dude, you're not going to win. You can't do damage to me. Make another elemental. We can Arcane Missiles here, I guess. Freeze my opponent. I got a emote. We gotta give him an emote. We had to do it. He's being so annoying. We're just frosting him down. We're gaining a bunch of life. And you see, like, the way this deck against Paladin, there's the concession. Against Paladin, you just have too many options, and the early game minions really, really help in these cases, which is really, really nice. So we are 2-0. I will see you guys for game number 3. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen in the whole wide world, wherever you are, joining me on this wonderful journey through Control Mage. We are just beating our opponents down with the sexiest Lich I've ever seen. She is a good-looking undead Death Knight, and that's all that matters. We are doing our thing, and we're doing it well. Another Paladino. So we got the Archaeologist early on. We don't really want either of these. Blizzard is fine, but really you want Dragon's Fury. The turn 5 AoE is nice. Or just more early game stuff, always good. Once again, the early game minions, so nice. More early game minions, I love it. So we're going to Archaeologist turn 2. We'll go turn 3 Secret, turn 4 Valet into a ping. Or, alternatively, if my opponent starts out blazingly fast, we may play the Ravens to try to get ourselves a Dragon's Fury early on. It could be a Knife Juggler, could be a Murloc. Drygold's Jailer, that sucks. That's a really smart play on my opponent's part because it's way before I can like polymorph or anything like that. But it is also very low tempo. And low tempo is very good for us because low tempo means that we don't need to play our Ravens right away. We can kind of sit back and wait on the Valet. We're not going to kill this. We are going to let this live as long as my opponent wants. Just going to do this, I think. We could add to the board here. But I think playing a Raven here is actually probably better. It's a really tough call, but like... Okay, he's playing Divine Favor. That's always good to know. We can't really play around Divine Favor, but it's good to know. More board presence here is better than less board presence. That's just kind of a general rule. And having access to Meteor is nice. It's not the best card in this matchup. Obviously, Blizzard, Flame Strike, Dragon's Fury. Those are the spells you want, but we can still do quite a bit. So it looks like we're playing towards the turn 5 Ice Block into Valet because of that play I just made. That's really unfortunate. I really didn't want him to do that. Although we can kill the Direwolf for free, which is nice. Yes, yes, reporting for duty. There's the polymorph. So we play the Raven, Quoth the Raven, we ping this down, we kill this. Oh, come on. Couldn't have given me the Divine Favor again, just one time. Where's Ben Brode when you need him? Okay, so he's going to play Call to Arms. Hopefully Knife Juggler comes out last, although it usually comes out first. Oh, Steward of Darkshire. Okay. See this opponent we're playing, how much better our opponent right now is than our other opponent. He's like making plays that make sense. He's saving, he's conserving resources. Much, much better than our last opponent. Also, it really doesn't matter which Divine Shield you break off here because Meteor's pretty weak to Divine Shield anyway, so we don't need all that much. Although we're probably going to set up a Kabbalist Tome here pretty soon. I think next turn, if we can get a Kabbalist Tome going, we probably will. Another one? Alright, well that needs to be polymorphed. See? God, this guy is good. I love players who know what they're doing. And if he trades the 1-1 into the 2-1 to preserve the Divine Shield, oh baby. Oh my goodness. I love it. And we got the Dragon's Fury, which is incredible. But, oh, I love it. Somebody who knows what they're doing. You don't see that very often in Hearthstone. Preserving the Divine Shields, using the Steward of Darkshires to try to force me to play AoE without actually committing his hand to the board. It's beautiful. It's just a thing of beauty. It really is. I mean, it's just gorgeous. You see how much better this opponent is doing than our last opponent? Like, he has full control of the board right now, which, unfortunately for him, still may not mean all that much, but because of, like, how good our hand is. But still, Some good stuff going on. So we're going to Dragon's Fury here. I wasn't going to, but the Arcane Tyrant. Like, we want to get cards out of our hand. And I always, if I can avoid it, I don't like to Dragon's Fury with the Artificer, because I do like the Artificer to stay up after you use it, because it is a threat that needs to die. There's the Juggler. Look at this. He's conserving minions. Oh, there's the Stand Against Darkness. Man, this guy knows what he's doing. I love it. I'm not even mad. He's just a good player. Give me one more knife on this, and then the next knife goes to my face. Perfect. He traded with his face there, which is completely correct. So much good stuff going on. I'm loving all of it. Okay, so we can Arcane Artificer into a Meteor if we want to. It's a pretty weak Meteor, but it's not the worst Meteor I've ever seen. And it gains us 6 health, which is pretty good. And it's pseudo AoE. And it also makes it so we get all the cards out of our hand, which means he can't just Divine Favor us into Oblivion, which is what we're always concerned about in this matchup. Then we have Kabbalah's Tome, which can reload. This is one of the things I really like about Kabbalah's Tome, are these kind of situations where now he's probably just going to level up here, right? So he levels up, he kills this, he goes face with everything else. I have a Life Fuse, take it on. Okay. And it's always +3 attack. Does anyone else notice that? He has to trade here, which is really good for us. Okay, so the light protects you. We're actually going to be pinging down these 4 ones here. Oh, Dragon Caller Alana. Just slam that. Yes, it's only 2 5/5s, but like, barring some insane thing, we have another ice block. Righteous Protector. Okay. So does the last card in his hand Divine Favor, or is it level up? That's the question. It's a quality. And notice how he didn't attack. Okay, so notice my opponent didn't attack my minions because he knows that I have to double trade into this. Very well done. And we got the Dragon's Fury. But still, very well done. So now he's put himself into a position where he can top deck lethal, and we put ourselves into a position where we can top deck Frostlich Jaina or Arcane Artificer or what have you. That's pretty good. That was a pretty good top deck on my opponent's part. Meteor's not going to do it, so we got to do this. Flame Strike is going to do it, but not yet. Counterspell for Divine Favor and Call to Arms are both pretty good here. My opponent's playing a really good game of Hearthstone. Oh, got him. Oh, that feels good. So we have a second Ice Block, which is, of course, great. We can go Flame Strike into Ice Block. He doesn't top deck a weapon, and then we top deck Frostlich Jaina, and we call this, and we close this one out. Arcane Artificer this turn also would be fantastic. Baron Geddon. That's actually terrible and kills us. Baron Geddon, very good in some situations, not good when you're at 1 life. Don't you dare top deck a God, Jesus Christ. Really? He had 1 weapon, he had a 1 in 15 chance. Ugh. Well, we lose. I mean, I guess we need Tar Creeper. We have 2 Tar Creepers, and we have Jaina. We have a 3 in 13 chance. That also works for us. This is a good game. Okay, so we are at 4 life, but he has to use his weapon on this, which is really nice for us. Yep. So that gained us 9 life, which is really good. That's not good. Oh, this came out last. That's really good for us. Okay, so we have to take 2 damage here. We have to get in, I think. We have to put some pressure on my opponent. The problem is if we get in, do we just lose? We take 2 damage, we go down to 4. He's at 20, we hit him for 7, he goes to 13. We take 2 damage, we go down to 2, we hit him to 6, we take 2 damage, we die. Yep, that's not going to do it, especially because he still has, we know he's playing Unidentified Maul as well, which is always going to be bad for us. What else is in our deck? We have double Tar Creepers, right? I haven't played a Tar Creeper this game. Doomsayer. We're going to kill this one because we want to take less damage. These decks don't run Leroy. He has one Unidentified Maul, which at the most can do 4 damage. Okay. Where, oh where is my darling Jaina? Or a Tar Creeper. I will literally take, Jesus Christ. I will literally take either one. I have 9 cards left in my deck. Okay, come on. Give me something good, deck. That's not what I wanted. I'll take it, but it's not what I wanted. Also, maybe I should have played Geddon. We could have killed him first, I think. But if we were at 3 life right now, we just die to so many things. I'm not a fan of that. Please give me Jaina just one time. Like, I'm not just one time. Like, not all the times. Ungoro does belong to the Titans, which is unfortunate for us. Harrison, you're not what I want. We're going to have to stick again at some point. I don't see how we... Jesus. Maybe he'll play an Unidentified Maul that gives his minions taunt, and then we'll kill it. And then... Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Tar Creeper, you're 85 turns too late. We're playing Harrison here, obviously. I guess we ping this one. He can level up the other one. But the 3/3 here means he can't trade into this. If he levels this up, I mean, he levels this up. 24 cards. No Frost Lich. Now he has minions, which makes me nervous. Minions are always bad. He's going to level up. If he's doing this, he has to have a level up, or like another Stake It On or some nonsense. There's the Maul. Does he have any minions left? Didn't think so. Okay, so he has to trade these in. He goes face with the other one. Oh, Jesus, this is a close game. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Okay. Lost in the jungle. We go down to 2 life. Ooh, this is a close one. Divine Favor. Okay. I didn't realize he still had a Rallying Blade left. So we need Jaina or a Tar Creeper. I cannot believe that's how we lost this game. So 2 of our last 4 cards were Jaina and a Tar Creeper. If we draw a Tar Creeper here, we also win the game. We kill both of these, we ping that. Yeah, so we had a 2 in 5 chance of winning the game. I mean, maybe if we play Geddon earlier, we win the game. Because we had the Fireball, so we play Geddon, we just start clearing his board and going face. But I didn't realize he had 2 Rallying Blades left in his deck, and if he had both Rallying Blades left in his deck, that means that playing Geddon was even riskier. Especially because Geddon would have killed us. I don't know. It's impossible to know how it would have turned out. I think we still made the right plays. I mean, literally, we just didn't draw the cards we needed to draw. So I will see you guys for game number 4. Alright guys, we're back. You always hate to see that. It's like such a good game. Going back and forth, all these top decks, and you just lose because you didn't draw the card. Like, I don't know. Like I said in the write-up, you cannot lose to Paladin unless you draw horribly, and that game we drew horribly. And our opponent drew really nicely. He had the Rallying Blade off the top to break our Ice Block, which was really important for him. Otherwise, we would have still had Ice Block intact at the end of that game there. Going up against a Rogue, I think he's Kingsbane. I don't really know any other decks that aren't Kingsbane. Kingsbane Rogue is very tough for us. The way we win this game is... Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know we had a new emote. But as you can imagine, the way we win this game, and I know you're tired of hearing this, is Frostlet's Jaina. We get elementals, we send them out onto the board, and we freeze, and there's Frostlet's Jaina. God, she's so pretty, isn't she? So, knowing we're up against a, well, assuming we're up against a slower Kingsbane Control-S deck, we are going to, or it could be Miracle Rogue, but based on the Shiv. But either way, knowing that we're up against a deck like that, we are going to want to save the coin for a turn 8 Jaina if possible. Preserving Jaina and getting her down turn 8 as opposed to turn 9 is a big difference, and if he is Kingsbane, that is literally a win condition. It's just freezing my opponent as much as possible. Now, if he is playing Kingsbane, he will also have Vanish. What? Okay. That's kind of a waste of an Eviscerate. But one of the reasons why I also like Tar Creeper. So we're just going to chill here. Just throw out the Doomsayer. Not really that worried about it. Just don't want my opponent taking priority too early. If we can avoid it. He makes a dagger. Maybe hits me in the face. Doesn't even hit me in the face. So I don't really want a Harrison here. It's like tempting. But I haven't seen... I think he might be Miracle Rogue. He's not playing any Kingsbane cards that, like, mark him as Kingsbane, so maybe it was better to play Harrison in that situation. I don't really know what he's up to. Another Arcanologist, I guess that's fine. Like, even if he was Kingsbane and he played, like, Cold Light and burned a bunch of cards, it doesn't matter at this point because we have our win condition in Frostlich. I just don't know what my opponent's doing. Okay, SI7 agent. Okay, so he's gonna Edwin Van Cleef, if you will. Which doesn't matter because we have Meteor. So it looks like he is a Miracle deck. They just probably had a really awkward draw. The Brotherhood shall prevail. No, it won't. Unfortunately for the Brotherhood, it will not prevail. I mean, you give us this much time, and like, the only way he takes us off of Frostlich Jaina here is if my opponent plays Auctioneer, which of course needs to die. So yeah, he just had a really rough draw, which is great news for us, because we are going to win the game. But just rocking it. Just you do you, Miss Jaina. And Water Elemental is out. He could play Valera as a rebuttal. Okay, what is it, Vilespine? Don't care. I care so little about that, it would blow your mind. Do this. Make another Elemental. We'll play a Raven here as well. And I think that's it. Okay, yeah, there's the prep. So, he just had like a minion-heavy hand. I don't really know how he's supposed to come out ahead, especially because we have Ice Block up now, and a second Ice Block. Like, not really sure what my opponent's game plan here is. Going face is not a... Okay, so he's playing Vanish. So he could be like a Mill Rogue type deck, maybe? I don't know. We burn a card. Oh no, we burned a Doomsayer. We'll just play another Water Elemental. We'll valet his face, and we'll shoot him. So he's playing Vanish. He's 14 life, which is not a lot of life. Okay, Phantom Knives. I too am a Phantom Knives. He also used... What? Why wouldn't you do that with the Phantom Knives? Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait, he hit... Okay. He still could have drawn 2 extra cards. Also, he's taking a lot of damage. Like a significant amount of damage here. So we just polymorph. Oh, Jaina. The train just rolls on and on and on. Like, I just don't know how my opponent's supposed to kill me from this point. Even if he, like, turns into Valera and then, like, slowly grinds us down, it doesn't matter. Like, he's never going to get anything to stick. Okay, you sapped it. You sap a second one. Oh, you shipped it. Okay. Also, like, him drawing cards is bringing him closer to death at this point. Yeah, draw your whole deck. Go for it. Okay. I don't really know what my opponent's looking for in this situation. We'll just polymorph the 4/2 and ping it and hit him in the face again. Okay, Shadow Step, sure. I'm not really certain of what's going on here. Oh, he's an Arcane Giant deck. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes more sense. Yeah, it just seems like he just wasn't... Miracle Rogue, he has one more Vanish, which he'll use here, which is going to burn a card, which doesn't really matter. And then we play, I mean, literally anything. We probably just play, I don't know, the Double Raven, I guess, is fine. Yep, there's the Vanish. We'll just replay both elementals. You got the best deals anywhere. I guess we can just Meteor this. I guess we can Dragon's Fury. This gets less use as the game goes on. Dun 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 dun. Honestly, like, I would have preferred for him to keep the Auctioneer up, but at the same time, like, does it even matter? Yeah, there's Valera. We knew Valera was coming, but he's also drawing in a Fatigue on, like, a turn. Now, I will be impressed. I will say this. I will be very impressed of my opponent. So he's used 1 sap and both vanishes. I will be extremely impressed right now if my opponent plays a Kingsbane. And this is like some weird Kingsbane Road deck where you like go to Fatigue and then you use Kingsbane with Valera to shuffle it into your deck so you never go into Fatigue. That would be really cool. And I would give mad points to my opponent for that. It looks like, though, he's just playing a lot of Giants. And unfortunately, Giants aren't really going to do that much against us. Yeah. That's just not going to do all that much. It's a noble endeavor, though, I will say that. Let's gain some life, just in case. Like I said, if he plays Kingsbane here, he gets style points for sure, but it looks like he's just Miracle Rogue. He kind of had a wonky hand. Sure. This guy's toast. And he's choosing to go face with the 8/5, which he has to. That's not what you wanted to do there. And Flame Strike will clean this up nicely. I didn't really want to draw, but what are you going to do? If you're noticing a pattern, the 3 games we won, we had Frostless Jaina. She's a very good card. I will see you guys for game number 5. Alright guys, it is game numero 5. Can we go 4-1, which really, that Paladin loss was annoying. Really should be 4-0 right now. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we shouldn't be 4-0. I'm just saying that we're not 4-0 and we probably should be. Okay, so going up against Mage. Medivh's Valet is actually a good keep here. Why is Medivh's Valet a good keep? Because it's an early body. Early bodies are good against Secret Mage. Ice Block's pretty good too now that we have the Ice Block with the Valet. So we're going to lead with Raven probably. And then play Ice Block into a counterspell if it comes up. And then we're going to try to just grind our opponent out of cards, which is very hard to do against Secret Mage. It's actually incredible how strong Secret Mage is and how fast they get on the board and how good their opening is. Yep, it's the Mono Worm. Tar Creeper's a good card. So we're going to play Raven Familiar. Hit Firelands Portal and not draw anything. Hey, we actually got something. So we know that he doesn't have one counterspell in his hand. Incredible. If he has Coin into Lackey into Secret, we are dead. He does not. That is very good news for us. So we could kill the worm here. I think it's actually better to stick this while we can. And then we bring the worm down to 1 so we can ping it next turn alongside like Valet or something. The 3/5 is going to annoy him a little bit, and if he does want to buff up the worm, he probably has to double trade here, which is really good for us. So, okay, so that we're going to play Ice Block into that just because I'm pretty, well, we don't need to play Ice Block into that. We can go here, ping, kill. That's pretty good. We want to save the Valet because it goes off through explosive runes and being able to kill something. I mean, I don't know if Ice Block's going to actually trigger, but being able to use Ice Block next turn, whether it triggers, if this is a counter spell or not, is still good for us. We also have Harrison Jones for Alaneth, which is a very important part of this matchup. So he has 6 cards left. I think he still has the coin. He's going to get the card draw off Alaneth no matter what. But if we can get Alaneth out of there... Okay, so he has Medivh's Valet. That's annoying. Archaeologist number 2. So I'm hoping that he has an Explosive Runes and not a counterspell, but we're about to find out. There's the counterspell, so we play this. It's an incredible discovery. We don't have AoE here, which is annoying. If our opponent coins out Alaneth here, like, I don't know what we're supposed to... Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, Jesus Christ. Or, alternatively, we just get absolutely stunted on by... Okay, he's not going to play the secret he drew, because it costs 2 mana. Are you... Is that a joke? Oh, never mind, because he drew 4 cards off of... Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, we're dead. Yeah, I mean, we're toast. We're toast. We are toast. I guess we try to stick the Ice Block, and then when that fails, we trade here and play the Doomsayer. Yep. So my opponent drew double. Like, that's insane. Double Arcane Intellect. Okay, well, that's good news for us. That's eating damage, which is what the Doomsayer is supposed to do. But he's going to play Alaneth here. Oh, no Alaneth. Okay, that's good news for us. So we know our opponent is out of counterspells, I believe. We just take 2 damage here off of this, which I think is fine. I also think we're probably still going to die. We just, no AoE. Too many secrets. A lot of counter spells. There's the Alaneth. I mean, Alaneth is good for us, but if he didn't have board, we'd be in really good shape. But now we just die to a fireball, right? Like, there is a chance my opponent didn't draw a fireball. I find that hard to believe. Ugh, sorry. Like, if we could live one turn here, we're not going to, but, like, you see him drawing 4 extra cards. Yeah. Him drawing 4 extra cards off of the double Arcane Intellect, off of double Glyph with his Sorcerer's Apprentice in play was absurd. And gave him the Cabal Lackey that he used to play the Secret, which really shut us down. If we had an Ice Block up that game, would that have made a difference? Maybe. He has to use it that turn, then we play the Artificer, and then we clear the board. I don't know. It would have been closer. So that was an unfortunate way to end this thing. But still, that is our worst matchup, and the deck is very strong. 3-2, should have gone 4-1, maybe even 5-0. I don't know. The double Arcane Intellect is absurd. But yeah, that is the deck. It is a control mage list. It's very nice, very good for climbing. You see a lot of Paladin. It's also really strong against Warlock. We didn't see any Warlock, surprisingly. But Paladin and Warlock is what this really excels against. And if you see a lot of those classes, this is a great option. I'm Joseph Cleese, ArsenalPlayers.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to the new standard. Guess what? The Witchwood is almost here. I cannot wait to be bringing you the new decks I have in mind. And I cannot wait to be climbing the ladder with some brand new lists, which you know we will be doing quite soon. So thanks for tuning in as always. Have a great week. I'll see you guys in 7 days.